Welcome to our presentation over social inequalities.
Let's leave it at this, Atticus said dryly. You, Miss Scoutfinch, are of the common folk. You must obey the law. He said that the Yules were members of an exclusive society made up of the Yules. In certain circumstances, the common folk judiciously allowed them certain privileges by the simple method of becoming blind to some of the Yules' activities. Scout had come home that day and complained about how things were with Burris and Walter at school. This quote provides insight to later events such as the trial or the fighting. It impacts Scout because she can now understand things easier. It provides information to the reader about the Yules' lives and how bad their lives are. They have special rules compared to others and are allowed to break some rules. They also have help from the government. The government provides them with some money but is wasted fast because of Mr. Yules wasting it on liquor.
There are some folks who don't eat like us, but you ain't called on to contradict them at the table when they don't. That boy's your company, and if he wants to eat up the tablecloth, you let him. You hear? Your folks might be better than the Cunninghams, but it don't count for nothing the way you're disgracing them. This quote shows how people treated each other back then, and look how it is still today. People would not understand why people acted out to things that people did every day. This had a huge effect for when Atticus is surrounded by the mob, since Scout got to meet and understand where the Cunninghams come from, so she was able to talk to Mr. Cunningham and convinced him to leave Atticus alone. It also shows Scout's growth again, and also can show how others, such as Jem, Atticus, and Cal, know how to respect and treat people of lower class.
The thing about it is, our kind of folks don't like the Cunninghams. The Cunninghams don't like the Yules, and the Yules hate and despise the colored folk. There's 4 kinds of folks in the world. There's the ordinary kind like us, there's the kind like the Cunninghams, the kind like the Yules down at the dump, and the Negroes. This is Jim talking about how he thinks the town is divided, which he nails on the head. Not only is this reflecting on what Atticus had said earlier in the book about the class systems in the beginning of the novel, but it is showing just how blatantly obvious to even kids that everyone is divided. This is also an important part of Jem maturing and realizing exactly how the social classes are split up.
Miss Caroline, he's a Cunningham. It was clear enough to the rest of us. He didn't forget his lunch. He didn't have any. This is a great part of the story because it shows a few different things. One, it shows how even the kids understand something about the differences in between families. All of these elementary school kids understand why Scout keeps bringing up Walter's last name. This is because even the kids understand they are divided. Secondly, it shows that when an outsider comes to town, they are almost shocked and don't understand why a name has anything to do with how they live, which proves just how truly divided Maycomb is.
Today in America, it is pretty obvious to how we were split up. Money. There's the upper class elite, upper middle class, lower middle class, working class, and poor. And just like in To Kill a Mockingbird, your social class affects your life. According to PewSocialTrends.org, the upper class ranks first in almost every category you'd think of. Very happy with their overall life, completely satisfied with their job, and are more financially secure now than 10 years ago. Next comes the middle class and then the lower class.
One huge factor, whether you realize it or not, is education. Just like in To Kill a Mockingbird, education is a main way to categorize people. But unlike in To Kill a Mockingbird, education affects people in a much harder way today. Education defines aspects of your life, like your job and how much money you make, which is exactly how American social classes are split up. This is backed up by the fact that college graduates are the only people to continuously make more money over the years.
Another modern day example, just like in How to Kill a Mockingbird, how different people were treated differently according to their class, there are still many instances of the upper class in America getting benefits and unequal punishments compared to the other classes. One instance is sentencing of 16-year-old Ethan Couch, a typical rich, spoiled kid. Ethan was involved in a DUI crash that killed 4 people and injured 2. The judge let Ethan off with a 10-month probation and rehab at a spa-like treatment center, But earlier that year, the very same judge convicted a 14-year-old African kid to 10 years in prison when he hit someone and that person died from hitting their head when they fell on the floor.
A great example of social inequality in today's America is of LA. A recent study shows that people all around LA have been struggling for things that most of us take for granted, like a decent job, healthcare, affordable housing, and a quality education. This is because the number of people has been steadily growing, yet middle-wage jobs are disappearing, while low-wage and harder-to-get high-wage jobs are on the move, meaning less fortunate people get poorer, while the already rich keep making more money. According to Patch.com, if racial gaps in income and employment were closed, the LA economy would be nearly $380 billion stronger.
The call to action. Social inequality is an issue that has been around for a long time. To attempt to fix this ongoing issue, we can work or join organizations such as Gahanna Jefferson Education Association, Lions Locker, or even GRIN, Gahanna Residents in Need. All of these supporting organizations work hard to try and give to the needy. We can change this by working to give them money, food, and more. Getting all of these people into schools is very important. School would guide them in the right direction and get them the money they will need. Getting lower-class citizens into school can prevent them from downfall in the future. Another club like Key Club at the high school can help with providing things to the people in need.